Hey guys, Sound Geek and this is an SR. Woo! As you can tell, it is windy as shit. Windy as fuck. Now, I guess I better go down to some area. You see that motherfucking bird? The huge ass fucking crow? You see, it's stuff like that that makes going on YouTube interesting to me. I see people like Black Bond and all these other people on the East Coast, and I haven't been on the East Coast for years. I mean, the last time was when I lived in Maryland, and that was almost literally 15, 16 years ago. So, it's interesting to see them talk good about summer because summer for me is usually shit because of the weather here in the great American Southwest. And what I mean by that is New Mexico, Arizona, southern Colorado, and parts of Utah and Nevada. Summer is hell. It's absolute hell. You got 65 mile per hour winds, as you can maybe hear hitting the computer. I'm not sure. Like that. And it's absolutely crazy how bad the wind is. And it's about 85 degrees, and this wind is hitting at 65 miles per hour. And I was going for a hike, and it's really hard to hike with that kind of fucking weather. And I would go work out at the gym, but thanks to all the tourists and illegal immigrants and people who don't know how to wash, uh, I received a fucking bacterial disease at the gym just a couple months ago. Look at this. The wind is so strong, it's actually blowing back my monitor. And I recently got a new puppy, and the wind is so strong that she can't even stand up. I got a new puppy, little Chihuahua. Her name is Bella. Maybe I'll show her later in the video. But yeah, this wind is nasty as shit. Luckily, in June, I'm probably going to go to E3. It's almost 100% certain now. Just got to register a hotel and all this other stuff, and then I'll be set to go. And then, how do you like that wind? And then I will be able to enjoy nice California weather that's steady and stable and consistent. That's the one thing about California that's absolutely amazing that I would actually love to move out there for. Steady, consistent weather. Here in New Mexico, the weather has PMS, and it literally changes within 10 minutes. As you can see right now, it's calm, no wind, and everything's fine. But in a couple of minutes, there'll be bursts of wind, and it'll go crazy again. And I don't know, it's just interesting to me to see Black Bond talk about summertime because I don't even know how people play basketball here. They can't really do it. That's why the basketball courts are always empty, is because when they try to shoot the ball, the wind is actually so strong it blows it away from the goal. So yeah, I told you. AKA maybe I guess you could call it like real life lag. I guess it sucks, man. You throw the basketball up there and the wind rejects you. Well, I'll talk about some more stuff about YouTube and other stuff, but I'll be back. So yeah, that was no bueno to have a fucking bacterial disease. Now, at first I had no idea how I got it because I don't really go anywhere where I would be really exposed for that kind of illness. But then I remembered I started working out and I started using the shower at the gym, which is a bad idea. And I used the shower at the gym, therefore that's where I got it. Unfortunately, I thought I got it at CES personally because it's an international convention. You never ever know what type of diseases those people are carrying when they come from all over the world. You know, and that's not being. A lot of people have called me out on being racist for saying that, but it's not racist. It's just the simple truth. You get all these people from all over the world, and they're always carrying some type of disease or some shit. That's why when you go to all these conventions like PAX and all that, it's just a breeding ground to get sick. It is, really. And I'll probably get sick at E3, and then my time in Hawaii shortly afterwards might be hell because I'm sick. But hopefully, if all things goes right, at E3 I won't get sick, and at Hawaii I'll have a good time. So, yeah. Um,
it really sucked because if you never had those like bacterial diseases before, you basically get an abscess, which is like a boil on I had it on my back, and at first I thought it was a pimple because I'm fat, and when you're fat and male, you tend to get a lot of pimples because testosterone mixing around in your body and you having a bigger body leads to more oily skin, which leads to more pimples. And then combine that with the fact of that I'm part Hispanic, which my that ethnicity had specific sweat glands to help it deal with the extreme hot climate, so that it would sweat more to help cool down. Since I live in an area like this, that combined with the fact that I'm fat and I'm male leads to very oily bodies. That's just how it is. It's genetics. But it wasn't a pimple. And I left it alone, and it grew to be 5 by 6 inches. And I couldn't really tell it was that size. If I could tell it was that size, I would have gone to the doctor immediately, but it was all like flat. It was like that big in height, and it was just flat. So I really couldn't tell it was even there. And the doctor saw it, and he was shocked, and if I let it go on any longer, I would have died. So I had to get assistance from my family to basically have this thing cut open by the doctor, and then every day I would have to pack it with a medicated gauze, and then pull that gauze out at the end of the day, and then pack it again for weeks. Then after that, I had to take antibiotics for weeks, and it was 5 blue pills about that big, and then I had to take 5 of those a day, and then I had to take 2 white ones a day. 2 white ones about this big, slightly smaller. They're still horse pills, but slightly smaller. Luckily, I didn't believe this at first. Adrian, my friend, actually taught me this trick. If you get your left thumb and grab it like that, you can actually swallow pills. It actually disables the gag reflex. So if you do that, you can actually swallow pills, because I've always had trouble swallowing pills. And after all that hell for 2 weeks of packing my back with gauze and taking these horse pills, and I had to take a lot of horse pills, I had to take all those, I was finally medicated. And I don't want to risk going back to the gym, because if I got it from one of the machines, that could be hell. And all these tourists and all these other people going there now, don't want to risk doing that again. And it could easily come back if my body makes contact with it again. So, not going to the gym, so I have to use stuff like this track. I don't know if you can see it. This is a track area. I use that to work out now because it's an open, outside area. But unfortunately, with an open outside area comes the downfalls of windy weather and hot temperatures, making it so I could really only walk from the times from 6 to 7 p.m., which is, it's about 7:30 right now. I don't know if you can tell because it's really light out. And that's the beauty of summer, is that it's lighter longer. Well, I'm going to talk about video games here in a second, but I got to drive home because I don't drive and talk on camera. That's insane.
You see, this is Bella, and she couldn't pee outside because the wind kept blowing her over. Yeah, and for some reason she likes crawling up on my shoulder like that. I don't know why, she's gonna fall off. Alright, whatever, dog. Uh, yeah, so if you haven't noticed in the gaming news lately, there's been this thing about, Microsoft charging for $15 an Xbox Live if you buy a $100 Xbox 360, and of course, people are becoming artificially outraged for no reason. I mean, I honestly don't see a problem with it. In fact, I didn't really think it was going to happen because I didn't think Microsoft was that smart. Oh, shut up, dog. You're going to fall over and you're going to die if you go up there. I didn't think Microsoft was that smart because, honestly, that's a really good idea, and going into next generation, it could be the factor that pushes Xbox really high in sales. I mean, if you think about it, these next gen consoles are going to cost at least $400. At least $400. And if Microsoft offers a $100 Xbox, if you pay $15 a month, that's a pretty good way to convert people over, and a pretty good way to attract sales from the start, and a pretty good way to keep people locked into the system. Aww, yawning. And also keep people from moving from the service because they're already forced into 2 years of Xbox Live. They'll still probably not want to switch to the PlayStation 4 or whatever when that comes out. Oh, shut up. If you're going to go up there again, I'm telling you, you're not going to like it. Shadow of the Colossus shit going on. Give you an idea how tiny. Look at this. Look at this. You're going to ruin Grateful Dead, and then Grateful Dead is going to be all mad. Give you an idea how tiny this little pup is. It's about the size of a Coke can. Yeah, it's not a new puppy, but it's a Chihuahua, so they're small. And yeah, so I think it's actually a pretty good idea, but it's probably going to force PlayStation Network to go pay to play, because if it doesn't, the PlayStation Network will be at a severe handicap due to the fact that the PlayStation 4 will probably cost almost 4 times as much as the new Xbox. Assuming that there are $400 consoles, which they should be. I predict that's how much they're going to be, and that's how much the Xbox will be in like the unlocked prepaid version. That's what I'm calling it. Yeah, because what confuses me is that people think that this is going to destroy the low-end Xbox and destroy other versions of the Xbox. No, this is just an alternative. If you don't want to pay $400 right up front, which a lot of people probably don't have the money for, or $300 in this case from the Xbox 360, there's an alternative paying $100 up front and then $15 a month. And overall, the drastic is not that drastic of a difference. Let's put into perspective the iPhone. The iPhone is $600 unlocked. It's $200 for the 16 gigabyte on a contract. If you add it all up, it's going to end up costing you over $1,200 for an iPhone for 2 years. And the Xbox is not that much of a discrepancy because, the iPhone is $600, and that's almost twice the price with that payment plan. Whereas the Xbox, a Xbox 360, 4 gigabyte, and Connect plus 2 years of live, that's about $418. And the subscription plan, if you go by $15 a month, plus the $100 to buy the console, that's about $458. So it's about a $40 difference, and in terms of credit, that's relatively low interest rate. So, that's a very small discrepancy for someone who wants to pay very little up front and then pay a little bit by month. So I don't really see that big of an issue with it, but people are all crying as usual because gamers are self-entitled dumbasses who don't understand how the industry works, and a lot of them just can't, fathom how this works. I thought Microsoft wasn't going to do it. I mean, I heard rumors of it, but I didn't think Microsoft was going to do it because it seems like something that's so complicated to accomplish. Because unless they only do it at Microsoft stores, or they can get like a major partner like Walmart to hop on, I don't see how they're going to implement this well. Well, I guess we'll have to see at E3. And I've been listening to a lot of music lately, but specifically College Dropout by Kanye West. And it's been 8 years since that album came out. And I have to say, rap has gone down a lot since what it takes to become an artist. I mean, if you look at what Kanye West did, even if you don't like him or if you don't like his music or whatever, that first album was very inspiring. It had to do with Black Power, it had to do with, Jesus, and it had to do with, there was one party song, which was Slow Jams on there, and maybe another party song if you consider, the workout one. And then, there's the video song, which was obviously, the college one. I forgot what it's called right now. But overall, the album was a very inspirational Black Power, standing up for the poor, and then, the infamous Jesus Walks track. And that's inspiring, deep shit to have on your first album. And it used to be that in order to be in rap, those are the kind of albums you had to make. But I listen to Drake and I listen to Nicki Minaj, and I don't get the same, there's no deepness to them. They're just generic. You can arguably say that Wiz Khalifa is a true gangster and Lil Wayne is kind of a true gangster, and that they have somewhat deep lyrics. I mean, Lil Wayne does have deep lyrics. I just hate his voice. But, overall, they're just not as deep as people like Eminem and Tupac and even Kanye or Jay-Z. They're just infinitely deeper than these people. And it's sad to see that doesn't carry over. Oh well. I probably pissed off a lot of people with this video. Anyway, I'm planning on meeting quite a bit of you that watch me quite a lot at E3, which will be fun. I always like meeting my fans and people I like on YouTube. I mean, Filthy Agent and Binty, I'm supposed to meet them. And maybe Michelle from TGF or something. But we'll see. I hope I get to meet him, because meeting people that I've talked to on the internet for a long time is actually pretty fun. Anyway, I hope you all have a great first couple of weeks of summer. I'm going to still be making videos. I'll probably have a video review up tonight on the Geek channel. I'm going to put this onto GTA because A, it's already logged in, and B, this SR is more personal, and I think I might just keep SRs on GTA. You decide in the comments. Let me know. You guys are the all deciding factors. Anyway, so fine, go up on there. All right, Sam out.